When President Ford danced with the Queen, the Marine Band just happened to play "The Lady is a Tramp." Certainly knew how to get a laugh out of Ronald Reagan. President George W. Bush almost aged the Queen by 200.
You helped our nation celebrate its bicentennial in 1976.
I remember a message sent to the American people from Queen Elizabeth. It was on September 11. Her ambassador read a prayer of service at St. Thomas Church in New York, where she poignantly reminded us, quote, "Grief is the price we pay for love. Grief is the price we pay for love." All the families and loved ones who still feel the ache of that missing piece of your soul on that terrible September morning. 2,977 at Ground Zero in New York, Shanksville, where my wife is speaking now, in Pennsylvania. 184 of them here at the Pentagon. And I know for all those of you who've lost someone, "21 years is both a lifetime and no time at all." And no lifetime at all. It's good to remember. These memories help us heal, but they can also open up the hurt and take us back to that moment when the grief was so raw. You think of everything they could have done if they had lived and just had a little more time. The experience you missed together, the dreams they never got to fulfill or realize. Terror struck us on that brilliant blue morning. The air filled with smoke, and then came the sirens and the stories. And the stories. Stories of those we lost, stories of the incredible heroism from that terrible day. The American story itself changed that day. The American story itself changed that day. But what we did change, what we will not change, what we cannot change that day, never will, is the character of this nation, the grace of strength and resilience. In the crucible of 9/11, we saw what stuff Americans are made of. Think of all of your loved ones, particularly those on that flight, ordinary citizens who said, "We will not let this stand." We saw the police officers and firefighters who stood on the pile on Ground Zero for months amid that twisted steel and broken concrete slabs. They never stopped, would not. As I said, of the passengers on board Flight 93, who understood that they were living the open, they were there in the middle of the open shot of a new war, and who chose to fight back. Not professionals, fight back, sacrificing themselves, refusing to let their plane be used as a weapon against even more innocents. And here at the Pentagon, which was both the scene of the horrific terrorist attack and the command center, so many of your loved ones were those heroes. As the walls collapsed and the roof began to crumble, they raced into the breach between the 4th and 5th corridors. The impact created by the fire raged at twice the height of this building. I remember I was a U.S. Senator walking up to my office, and I could see the smoke and flames. They were heroes. They went back into those soaring flames to try to save their teammates. Firefighters battled the blaze of jet fuel long into the night. Battle the blaze. I said when I was up on 9/11, we will follow them to the gates of hell. And in the years since 9/11, hundreds of thousands of American troops have served to deny the American people a safe haven and to be sure that they're not able to continue. For our nation, we owe you an incredible debt. A debt that can never be repaid. A debt that can never be repaid. It took 10 years to hunt down and kill Osama bin Laden, leader of Al-Qaeda. Because we will not rest. Can never again. We'll never give up. We'll never forget threatening the American people in 20 years, wherever we find them, wherever they exist, and we'll never hesitate to do what's necessary, American people. What we have repaired, destroyed what was fortified. We've threatened what was attacked. The indomitable spirit has never, ever wavered. We raise monuments and memorials to the citizens whose blood sacrificed on these grounds. I hope we'll remember that amidst these dark days, we dug deep. There is a nation that cannot accomplish. There's nothing this nation cannot accomplish when we stand together. We don't always walk away from it, live up to it, but we've never walked away. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us who we are. And that's what those hijackers most hope to destroy when they targeted our buildings and our people. On behalf of all those who have given their whole souls to the cause of this nation every day since, that's a job for all of us. It's not enough to gather and remember each September 11th, those we lost more than 2 decades ago, as one America, the United States of America. That's who we are. That's who your loved ones were and why they gave so much. Thank you.
Why did American presidents, time after time, carve out time to do this, to meet with someone who really didn't have any actual power?
You do it the first time because it's a show of respect to the country. You do it the second or third time, as I did, either because she wants to do it and invites you, or because you got something out of it. And I gained a much keener insight into the whole culture of the country.
Over the years, there were some amusing moments. But the next day, she came right back.
I wondered whether I should start this toast saying, when I was here in 1776.
But while 13 presidents came and went, the Queen endured. Is there something she said to you that you particularly remember?
There's one thing, but I can't really, still, it's inappropriate to reveal.
Oh,
but
come on.
Let's just say this. If she trusted you, not to say what she said, she would occasionally say something to remind you that she was all business when I said something that I meant to be supportive, but she may have thought was a tad patronizing, and it was the effect of what she said was.
Who said, we will not let this stand, to be sure that they're not able to continue. Whose blood sacrificed on these grounds from Queen Elizabeth. It was on September 11,